All right. Let's see.
Hey, Steve.
It's good to see you, my guy. Give me a second here. Let's turn off the starting soon plate. And hey, what's going on, guys? And we'll jump into here. Yeah, this feels right. I'll just check on a signal here real fast, make sure we're coming through clearly. Yeah, this feels right. Yeah, it does sound pretty good. Okay, this should do. Okay, so we're creating a Spelljammer campaign in orbit around Eberron using Bastion Campaign mechanics and playtesting the Kaiju Mecha combat system that we have as an expansion of the Spelljammer rules. Here's the Spelljammer document on DMsGuild. It has a free preview that you can look at, so we may be dipping into this book for mechanics and like visuals and stuff like that as needed. Let's see. And we're now using, I've just created a document for the Bastion, this campaign that we're actually building. I call it our campaign Workbench. If you click on that, it takes you here to the Kaiju and Constructs Eberron Spelljammer Bastion campaign that we're building. The Warforged Machines, I need to change that to Kaiju and Constructs, but that is the Kaiju Constructs document that we've been building. You can take a look at that. It's read-only. All these things are read-only, and the Spelljammer Combat Exploration is a PDF download. Subclasses is here with unique Spelljammer subclasses for all 13 current subclasses classes in the D&D 5e game engine that we may be leaning into today. And yeah, and then the Workbench. So that's all the documents. If you want to check out some of the other books that I've built on the DMsGuild, they're all here. They all have free previews. You can check my artwork in them as well as my design ideas. Like, subscribe, hit the bell icon for notifications when we're live in the future. I do game design on Mondays and Thursday nights like this. And then I do artwork for the books that I publish on Monday through Friday in the morning, around 6:30 Pacific time or 9:30 East Coast, or wherever you are in the world, like GMT -8. So okay, picking up where we left off last time, we had determined that each square, like here's square. This is community 6. It's a first rank community, which means it's a thorp or like a hamlet. This is that's what we're doing. I'm going in here and I'm looking at the communities. That's why I built this document. So there's 6 communities. And we're going to go with number, and then we're going to go with rank, population, and I don't know, name. So the first one, the property number 1 is 3rd rank. And we should have some notation over here already, I think. No, it was only the main one that we have a population for. Oh, that's it. Population, size of the asteroid that it's built on, and then we'll go with name from there. So rank 3, population is 40K. That's the only one we figured out so far. Number 2 is 2nd rank. Number 3 is 2nd rank. So a 3rd rank community is going to have, and we can go into our Bastion Campaign document. Oop, I don't have the Bastion Campaign open up yet. Let's go over here and open up Bastions. We'll need Bastion points in a bit, but we're not there yet. Let's get past the facilities. Down into getting past issuing orders to Bastions, getting past recruiting, all of the specific types of orders, governing Bastions and settlements. Thank you. A hamlet can have a maximum population of 100. A village can have a maximum population of 1,000. A town, yeah, that's right. A town can have a maximum population of 10,000. And once you push past 10,000, so yeah, I was mistaken here about our numbers. So let's go here. I'm gonna peel this out as a separate folder, and I don't need to have the YouTube installed here either.
So, hey, Fadas, how you doing?
Welcome to the channel. Yeah, we're making a campaign. It's Spelljammer Campaign in Eberron orbit among the moons. We're basically an asteroid belt harvesting, basically a cluster of asteroids that have land grown on them. So maximum population is going to be 4,000, not 40,000. And let's see, and all these different documents that I'm referencing in Google Docs here are linked down below. They're all read-only, but they're all in the process of becoming books that we'll be publishing on the DMsGuild. Village, town, great. So 2-2, where were we at? Number 4 is first rank, so that's a hamlet. Number 5 is second rank, so that's a village. And then 6 is first rank, another hamlet. So I can roll a d10 and multiply it by the modifier for the community. So our town, our main hub town, has up to 10,000 population. So I roll a d10 and I get a 4. There's a couple villages. I don't have names for them yet, but village, this is going to be a 10 times 100. So I'm just going to roll this a few times. That's my 20-minute timer to make sure I stay on track. I rolled a 3, so this will be a population of 300. This one is also up to 1,000, and I rolled a 4, so this is a population of 400. This one I rolled a 1, so it's a hamlet, which means it has a population of 80. This one's a D10 times 100, so this is going to have a population of 800. And number 6 times this one has 50. Okay, so 4,000, 300, 400, 800, 80, 50. What is that total population? 47, 80, 55, 80, 56, 30. Total population. Let's just call this for now. Let's just call it cluster community. And then the size. So area maximum. This should be max area, which is a radius, which means it's 100 up to 100 miles across for 10,000 people. We had determined last time this was a 60-mile stone, which means that it's large enough using the Spelljammer Combat and Exploration documents that we have published on the DMsGuild. Here, an object that has scaling distances. An object of at least 10 miles in size has spherical gravity. So, or rather, if it's larger than 10 miles in size, it has spherical gravity. Like the planet Anadia is the smallest size planet that we can have that actually has like spherical gravity. Anything smaller than that, and it's planar gravity, where there's like an up and a down with a central line that cuts gravity in between it as a plane. But anything once you get that's right, and once you get above 10 miles in size, it becomes spherical gravity. So all of these rocks are they don't all have to be spherical gravity. They can, but their growth potential is limited if they aren't. Because they can, I mean, the rocks can only be so big, which means they can only hold so much population. If you have something that actually has a spherical gravity, it's going to be a large enough size, generally, that you're going to be able to sustain a really large population on it. But let's see. I'm thinking things through. Let's see. Let's go back to our Bastion Campaign document here and look at our size. So this is going to be, could be up to 20 miles. Let's do it should be spherical. The second ones, they should be spherical. So let me, I'm going to roll, I think it could be up to 10 miles in radius. Let's do, that could be 20 miles. How about I do a, I'm going to roll a d10 and then add 10. That way it guarantees that it's spherical. And then the hamlets actually, let's do a little bit more raw than that.
let's do let's do a yeah, let's do a 1d4, and we'll subtract 1. So it'll be anywhere from 0 to 30 miles in size, and then we'll roll a 10 after that to see how with a one. So I'll roll a 0 on the 4, and then a die roll on the 10. It'll be anywhere from 1 to 10 miles in size. That works. So rolling the 4, and I got a 4. So this will be 43 miles in size. Let's actually put that one down here since I can swap these around as I need. But right now we're looking at total population and total size to help figure out like the value of the land that's going to be amassing over time as the Bastion campaign proceeds and the regions grow. We'll have an opportunity to see the populations evolve, hopefully. So this one is a 3. So this will be 30 miles. Nope, that will put this one here, 30 miles. Not this one, not that this one couldn't be. 300, so let's go ahead with that'll be 27 miles. And this 60 miles, that should have a variable. It's too static. 64 miles. I mean, who's really counting? And 33. And okay, so this one, here's a thorp, or a hamlet, which is a new community. And it's on a rather large 47 miles. And then 50, population of 50 has a 5 miles. So this one is plain. This one is planar. This one is spherical gravity. BP. So a first rank Bastion can have anywhere from 1 to 10 points. A second rank Bastion will have anywhere from 11 to 20 points. And a third rank Bastion will have anywhere from 20 to 30 points. 21 to 30 points. So 21 to 30. So it would be 20 plus D10 points that the largest community has, and it's at 9. So this has 29 points. It's about ready to ascend to 4th rank. That's fantastic. It's also really fucking difficult and expensive to get additional points. So that's something that the team can work on. Second rank is going to have at least 11 points up to 20. The more points you get, the larger your facilities become, the more your Bastion just naturally evolves in size. So 24. So this one's at 24. 14. This one's D10 plus 10. That is a 19. So this one's on... Actually, let's take that one down here. This one's on the verge of growing. And I'm going to back off that point value a little bit. And then let's go here to roll another D10. 7. So this is going to be 17 points. And this one's going to be 1 to 10 points. This one comes in with 5. And this has 1 to 10 points as well. And it is at 9. Yeah, 9 points is good. And this one is small enough that it has planar gravity. So we'll put a dash next to it to indicate its gravity situation. I don't have names. Let's call it I don't know.
Willow Falls. And let's see, we need to have, the name's not nearly as important. We'll figure out a name eventually, fuck it. Willow Falls sounds kind of fun, but Spelljammer shit, maybe we'll find something that's a little bit more appropriate. Let's see, what I want to do is look at, has 24 points. It can be up to 3rd rank, so each facility can be up to 3rd rank. It has to have a 3rd rank government to be 3rd rank, so governing a governorship, a government, is a meta facility that takes up space in your bastion but doesn't do anything inside the bastion. It allows you to do things outside of the bastion, as in to manage a population in a settlement. So that's what these communities are, cluster settlements. So I should actually call them settlements because that's the game term. Settlements. There. And we'll go with, we can do a deep dive into each individual location, like what all their facilities would be, like with only 5 points or 9 points. Those start off really simple. It'll be easy for us to be able to build up the facilities in the smallest one, and then the main population government control will be in the 3rd rank, number 1 cluster settlement. For now, we'll just call it capital, I guess. Capital Rock. We'll go with farm. Is this okay? So are we there for? So these small little nuggets here. These that's not a small little nugget. It's a 47. That's a 47-mile rock. So what is going on with that? We're going to use some Oracle dice, which are pairs of D6s that I use. Well, I'm going to fix my screen here. Get my shit flying right. I use Oracle dice, which is a way of basically flipping a coin or asking a magic 8-ball. I use 2 6-sided dice. The first die determines whether the answer, what the difficulty, or how likely is the answer to be yes. And then the second die is what did I actually roll to see if it's yes or not. So if the question is a 6, that means I have to roll a 6 on the answer die for that answer to be true. If I roll a 1 on the question die, it's guaranteed to be correct. Now the answer die is just determining how correct is it. So like if I roll we'll roll like for instance, my gut is telling me we have this, let's go to right screen. We have this population of 80 on a 47-mile rock, while we have a population of 400 on a 33-mile rock. So this rock is larger than this one, but this one is lightly populated. So what's going on with this light population that's causing them to have such a large rock with so few people on it so far? Is it really, are they prospecting it? Like looking for mineral rights and stuff? Is that why people are there? 6 and 1. So the answer is, the question is 6, the answer was 1, which means it's highly unlikely that's the reason. And 1 being the opposite of 6 means it is absolutely not for prospecting. So this is effectively a dead rock. No, they haven't surveyed it enough to know if it actually has minerals in it or not. That's not the answer either. Was there... were there hostile forces on this rock at some point that have since been expunged, and now they're basically making a fort out of it? 2 and 5 says yes. So this is, we'll call this Little Tower for now. So this is essentially, this is a military post. Is that it? 3 and 4. So the dice say, yeah, this is military in nature. But are there intentions? There are intentions here to develop it for pasture land or like for vegetation materials. 6 and 6. So not goats. Sheep. Military plus sheep. So that's what they plan on using this rock for. It's a military outpost, but it's also got ranchers, so sheep ranches. Capital rock equals little tower. We'll have name, and then we'll have role. How about that? Defense post plus sheep. That'll be his major theme. Capital rock, though, is commerce, hub, and governing cluster government. There. We still have others that we're filling in. So we're looking at, so this is going to provide us with sheep for animal resources. I'm thinking commerce hub plus government. I'm going to hit plus GOV plus, it's a large rock. It's the largest rock. So I feel like it should have, the word I'm looking for is harvesting. What is the fucking word that I'm looking for? That is farming and shit. Maybe I'm just thinking the word farming. Anyway, is it a farming community? Yeah, it's a farming community. Plus farms. Plus oh wait. It had a lot of forest, right? No, it has some forest. Plus farms, plus crops, plus forest. Those will be our major points of interest. Plus crops. Yeah, that'll be fine. And then let's see. This one, I feel like there's a mining operation out here. Like there's a lot of asteroids that are in orbit nearby here. Are there streams of asteroids that are moving at different speeds relative to this cluster? Not really. It's all kind of moving at the same speed. So does that mean that we have miners that are venturing out of the out from the settlements into potential hostile territory to mine and develop? 3 and 3 says just is that. Do they build forts and then start mining using that fort as a defense point for the ore that they're extracting? Yes. So did I actually misread Little Tower? Is it they're developing? Are they? Oh, wait a second. This was a mining operation. It's burned out, and now that the mine is dead, they're converting it over into pastures and into pastures and fields. Does that read right? No. So that means that there's what? Still things going on? Did they have to... They had to shut down the mine. Okay, that's an interesting adventuring hook. Plus ore. Let's see, what kind of ore is it? On a scale of 1 to 10, this is a 3. So it goes from iron, copper, silver. So is there a silver mine? There was a silver mine that was here. And that is ran dry. Okay, so the ore was silver. Is there other ore here now, or is it actually dead? Is there ore here now? Yes. There was silver originally, but now they've found something new. So the new thing that they have found is... I rolled silver again, so that's not going to work. Let's roll it again. Jesus, Electrum. Okay, plus Electrum ore. That's huge. So that means that these prospectors have hit Electrum. So this population of 80 is mostly military. There's some sheep herders, but now they've discovered Electrum, so we can expect number 4 to grow significantly in time over the turns. Number 4 is way over here. It's large enough, it's a big rock, and it has ore in it. If you go mining into one of these rocks, even though it's a spherical gravity, it's Eberron. This is still the world of Eberron. It's still an asteroid in orbit around the plane of Eberron. Whenever you dig into anything too deep, you find kyber. So there being an electrum mine on this rock means that there's a decent chance that there's also kyber access. The more valuable the mineral underground, the more likely it is that it taps into kyber. So like cheap iron or copper, probably not that dangerous. But you start getting to like mithril or like dragon shards, or like gold, platinum. These are higher end materials that have a higher magical quality to them. They pull kyber to them. So opening up a mine is just a matter of time before you've dug too deep and you hit a pocket of kyber that opens up, and then all your mining crew gets killed by madness. And now you have to go in there and you have to expunge, you have to basically exorcise the evil from the mine to be able to do anything further with it, and to prevent it from eventually bubbling up to the surface and starting to kill people that are on the rock. So it's great that they found an electrum mine. That's a whole new series of problems that they have to figure out. So that is a potential subplot that's happening inside the campaign as a whole. The campaign is designed to be progressively generated, where random events that are happening in each community and random encounters coming from outside of the community to potentially raid, invade, or trade with these communities. So there's always going to be a new event that's happening each Bastion turn, which is a week, and that event is going to flavor the adventure of the week. I anticipate each adventure taking 3 or 4-ish sessions to complete, which means that we'll be able to basically gain a level each month. If we start at 5th level and we push ourselves to 13th level, that's in 5 to 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. That's 8 levels that we're going to be gaining over the course of the campaign. That also means that it'll be about an 8-month campaign if we're able to show up. If we have at least 3 people that show up each session, we can crack through it in 8 months, 32 sessions roughly. If we have attendance issues, then we could potentially stall out. But I'll take a table of anywhere from 3 to 5 players. 4 really is the sweet spot. I think 4 is truly the best. Though 3, if your team knows what they're doing, 3 is really good because they can keep a lot of momentum rolling and be fast about decision making. But 4 people is just enough chaos at the table that it makes things unpredictable but not overwhelming. 5 people, it can start to get overwhelming. So we're building these things out. So we have our Bastion points. We're going to flesh out what all those Bastion points are. We have the size of them. We have spherical gravities set up here. I'm going to actually put an extra dash in there. I know this isn't a highly important detail, but it's something I've decided to waste a moment of time on. Yeah, like that. Okay, let's continue figuring out roles. So this is 2nd rank, and it turns out this one has 3 roles: defense, sheep, electrum. This is 3rd rank, and it has 4 things going for it: commerce hub, government, crops, and forest. So that tells me that this should have 3 things, this should have 3 things, this should have 3 things, and this should have 2 things. So let's see if we can figure that out. So there's 3 types of materials that are generally gathered in settlements. It's either mineral, like a mine, vegetation, which can be forestry, like logging, or crops like vegetation. It could also be like a vineyard, for instance, if you wanted. It's really open-ended in that sense. It's just vegetation of some sort. And then the 3rd variable is animal materials, like herds, like raising chickens, or herds of sheep or horses, or depending on the size that you have. Since these are relatively small rocks, sheep and goats makes the most sense to me. They're small-sized creatures, they're rather manageable, and they still perform that, and rabbits and chickens. Yeah. So I can roll a d6, animals, minerals, vegetation, A and V. So we're gonna go. We have vegetation. We have vegetation here. We have mining, and so we have ore and animal here. We have vegetation.
Yeah, let's roll 2d6 and see how those come up for this community.
That is 2 animals. So we'll go with goats. Now let's just go with animal. Now we can keep those crops and forests. Just for now, we'll go with animals times 2 is where we're at with this one. Animal plus animal plus, it has one other thing. So this is going to have all the things that go along with processing animals, like stables, menagerie, a workshop, a trade guild, a guild hall, like all the things that you need to be able to process, maybe like a laboratory for processing animal bits into different types of objects and materials that can be used, like food and backpacks and shit like that. So the 14 Bastion points, we can only put 2 ranks, 2 points of Bastion points into any specific facility, like a garden, for instance. It could be up to a 2nd rank garden, which means it could be like a mile in size. That's a good sized garden, like an atrium. But and I don't know what our 3rd thing is here yet. We'll figure that out. But we'll go here, and we're gonna do 2 types of materials here, and I get I get minerals and plants. So minerals and vegetation. Plants. Let's call it plants for fun. 33 mile plus something else. So minerals, there's minerals here. Do we roll on the D10 table to see what it is? Yes, we're gonna roll a D10 and see what we come up with. We rolled a 1, and that means iron. So this has iron. That would explain why it has a population of 400. Iron. So that's really fucking useful, having access to iron. And what about the plants? Is it crops? Or is it forest, or is it something more exotic? So we'll go with, is it forest? It's not forest. Is it crops? Yeah, it's crops. So it's feeding crops. There you go. Iron plus crops. Plus something else. We don't know yet. Whatever ends up making sense. Down here, we're only going to have, this one also has 2, so let's roll up our 2 materials that this place is gathering. It's gathering animals and it's gathering vegetation. So animal and plants. This one, does this one have forest? Yes, it does. Animal plus forest. Sheep? More sheep or is it goats? Sheep? More sheep. How about here? Sheep. And goats. Sheep, goats. This one's got sheep. This one's all crops. And forest. This one's iron and crops. This one's sheep and forests. Okay, so they're all going to have defense posts. So that seems a little redundant now. Forest plus something significant. Maybe not. How about down here? Your first rank, so you're going to have 1 material for sure, and that material is going to be animal.
And is this also going to be, this one's a flat. This one's a flat. So I feel like the animal is going to be exotic. Is this an exotic animal? Yes. Is it some sort of spacefaring creature that we have going on here? Yes, it is. Is this in a cluster of asteroids that have wild space marine life? Like underwater stuff? No. Maybe it's is this maybe this area here? This is number 6. Where is number 6 on the map? It's a very simple map, but there it is. It's right there. So is this? Are all these asteroids in a central, do they all share a, is it in a cloud of gas and the asteroids are like inside of the gas sphere, or are they all separate atmospheres? So the question is, as a yes or no question, is do these all share the same atmosphere? 1 in 4, so guaranteed that it does, and midline response. So it's all a shared, so all of these asteroids are going to share an atmosphere. Okay. Here's the 13 moons, well 12. One of the moons is missing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, the 13th moon is actually missing, so I need to get rid of that one. But I didn't write down the distances. I'm thinking about reducing the maximum speed for this campaign, the maximum speed ship that they can have for spelljamming, like the out of the box generic spelljamming helm and Spelljammer's Adventures in Space allows you to do 100 million miles a day, with the idea about you're going to be crossing like from one system into another, crossing through the astral sea and blah blah blah. We have a minor helm, which is for smaller vehicles, while a normal, or what we call a major helm that does 100 million miles per day, that can haul anything up to 500 feet in size, can be operated with a single major helm. But minor helms can only operate vehicles up to 50 feet in size and have a maximum speed of 1,000,000 miles per day, 100 times slower than the major helms. So they're good from being, like, if they were trying to chase a vessel with a major helm on it, the minor helm would never catch it. But if you have a carrier ship with a major helm that gets close enough to the air envelope of another ship, you can drop fighter craft from the carrier ship into the air bubble of an enemy ship, and those fighter craft will basically coast along like they're being carried. They'll coast along with that ship inside of it. Once they get inside of its atmosphere, it can stay inside that bubble as though it's riding it. So it doesn't matter if the fighter craft have helms that have insignificant speeds compared to the vessels, because they're being carried by a carrier. Like a fighter jet isn't gonna go 2,000 miles across the ocean to get into a dogfight with an enemy on the other side, on another continent. You're gonna take an aircraft carrier to float all of them over so they can deploy short distance to have dogfighting, and then be able to return to the vessel for repairs and refueling and re-equipping to then head out again. Short sorties on a massive vessel that can carry them out there. Fighter craft in this game works the same way, but since we're dealing with only inside the Eberron orbit with the moons, and I think the maximum distance that a moon is from Eberron is like 250,000-ish miles, I believe. So I could probably get away with, I could potentially get away with squares that are 10,000 miles, and then slow down the speed of the spelljamming ships to only be, like, say 10,000 miles per 5,000 miles per hour equals 10,000 miles per 2 hours equals about 100,000 miles per day ish. So if I were to slow it down, instead of each square in this map being 5 million miles, it could just be 5,000 miles, and that would put everything at a slower speed, and that would allow like this, like from here to here, that's like I think this is the greatest distance from here to here. And that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How about here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that would be like 35,000 miles across from each other. If there was like a gas giant planet that instead of having moons outside of its space had the moons inside of its space, then this asteroid community would be able to exist inside of that gas giant, have a centralized air, like a common air supply, kind of like in the Flash Gordon movie, how they entered Ming space, and it was all inside the same atmosphere, but there were all these different moons or asteroids that people lived on inside that same air. So I'm thinking that we could do that for this cluster as well. Have it be a broad air envelope that isn't necessarily a spherical envelope itself, but is just an ongoing atmosphere that clings to itself and gets stretched over a distance, and it itself wouldn't have its own gravity because it's not a gas planet. It's just an air envelope that's expanded and extended itself over a large stretch of asteroids that people are then able to live inside of and populate. So, like if we were to go back to the map that we're messing around with, I don't think this is the map that we were messing around with. Was this the map we were messing around with? No, it's not. Hold on. Oh yeah. Here we go. So these are the different objects. Like this is our community here. It's actually in the wrong position because I didn't move it back to where it's supposed to be. It's actually supposed to be here right now on this orbit. But we could have like if these are 10,000 mile. If these are like 10,000 mile bands, like if that was a 10,000 mile space, then that asteroid field I'm proposing would like stretch from like here to here. That feels too big. So maybe what we do is we make each of these squares 100,000 miles in scale. And then we have the spelljamming vessels be able to hit a maximum speed of 100,000 miles per day, which drops them down to 5,000 miles per hour. And then we could, so in a day we could move from one square to another, which means the Citadel would be leaving its community unprotected for 2 days, once while it ventures out to here, and another day when it ventures back. So that's a lot of abandonment because the whole campaign is based around you are the sheriffs of this community, protecting, or you're the Coast Guard, basically protecting the asteroid community from invasive forces, kaiju, pirates, pillagers, whatever. You're supposed to be chasing them away with your Dwarven Citadel and your mecha firecraft that we build. So if it's 100,000 miles, it would take a day to get from one square into the next. But if the scale is still 5,000 miles between each square, let me go back and fix this. If each of these squares is 5,000 miles, that puts all of this comfortably inside of a single 100,000 mile square scale. And it would still, with a 100,000 miles per day, still puts us at 5,000 miles per hour. So that means like to get from 6 to 1, it would take 1 to 3 hours to get there. And again, when an external threat attacks one of these communities, we roll a d10. And that's how many hours the threat is going to remain at that asteroid before it leaves, having successfully done whatever it did. And so if I roll a 4 for this community down here, and it happens to be like the enemy will be there for 3 hours, and our team is here at 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's going to take 5 hours for us to get there, but the threat's going to leave after 3, which means that we can't actually help that threat. So we'll be able to roll how many threats are affecting the community at a time, and how many can the team realistically get to during the adventure. So that's going to be the challenge, is that there'll be multiple potential threats, and the team is only going to be able to deal with one threat at a time. So we have an absolute distance that it's each square here is thus going to be 1 hour travel time to get to each of them. 1 hour travel time per square. That'll give us an idea of how many squares across it take to be able to travel, and then we can start composing like what we'll be able to once we lock down these communities. We'll then be able to go into like what kind of threats can they be facing: pirates, monsters, extraplanar creatures, natural hazards of sorts. And these will just be these could be the most significant. I mean, this is very simple right now, but these are the significant communities. But there'll be other asteroids that are all scattered inside of that 100,000 miles square on the moon level. We'll still have like inside that 100. That'll be like that'll be a 10 by 10 grid of 10,000 miles each. And like here, I'll actually let's demonstrate that here real quick. Tangent, not tangent, you know?
This is what it's all about.
Thank you, Timely Timer.
I mean, this is literally what we're doing. So let's go back here. Let's grab these real quick. Let's merge all that down. Fuck it. There. I can hide all that monkey business.
Okay, so if these are 5,000 mile squares, if we're going to have a 100,000 mile square, that's a 20 by 20 grid. So let's build a world in a 20 by 20 grid. We'll grab a line here, and this is just the easy way to do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Transform. That. Drop this down to here. There we go. That is a 100,000 mile square. And so I can drop these, I can get rid of all this mesh. Yeah, let's do it like this. This is location 1, 3rd rank. This is location 2, 2nd rank. This is location 3, 3rd rank, 2nd rank. This is location 4, 1st rank. This is location 5, 2nd rank. This is location 6, 1st rank. Each one of these squares represents 5,000 miles. That means that instead of like 6, for instance, 6 is a population, is a thorp with a population of 50 people on a 5-mile rock that is linear gravity, planar gravity. But I could, for instance, that's a 5,000 mile square. I could like take a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Transform. Duplicate that layer. Sorry, this is going somewhere. This we'll end up doing a lot of this, so get on board with this. Merge these down. Actually, let's take it back where it was, and let's scooch it up to here. So here equals 5,000 miles. This is a 10 by 10 square, so here this is going to be a square equals 500 miles. And then we could drill down this into a 10 by 10 of 50 miles. And then furthermore from there, we could drill down to a 10 by 10 of 5 miles. And then we would be having this particular lot occupying 1 square at the 5-mile scale. Yeah, we could do it that way. Or we'll just take this, this is a 5,000 mile space. We're going to take number 6 here. We're going to, for now, put this here and like here. And I'm just going to make some asteroids. Just kind of cluster them around. So I'm making a little, I feel like the size is off. I'm gonna do something like this. I want this to be, if I were to zoom into 1 mile scale, I could then have, scaling gets tricky because it keeps like tightening and tightening and tightening. It's like layer upon, like zooming in, layer upon layer. It'd be nice to have a vector program that would allow me to do like fractal diving into spaces, but as it is, we don't. So 5 mile space, that's about like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-ish. That's roughly our asteroid, and I feel like there'd be like another one here. Here. I can do a neat little like overlap. This has animals and something else going for it. Oh, that's right. We were looking at this as a biome. We were exploring what sort of a biome was this. So I'm feeling like the main community, which is going to have maximum population of 100, 1 mile radius minimum. So like we'd have like the community would be like here. That's our central hub. It's too small. It's too small to have any extensive farming going on. The population is large enough, though, that it makes me feel like there should be. We're going to use the classic square for fortresses, diamonds for hamlets, circles for villages, whole circles for towns, like that. And then we have for cities, so fortress, thorp, village, town, city, but we don't have any cities yet. We only have one town. We've got a number of thousands of people we got to bring out here and expand infrastructure significantly for us to be able to have a city out here. A town is good enough. So this is a thorp, hamlet. It only has up to 100 population. The actual population is 50. So this little cluster here would easily house 50 people. But I'm thinking, since its trade is in animals, but it didn't come up with as sheep or goats, that makes me think. And it said no to an exotic wild space underwater scene. That makes me think then that this has to be bird roostings. This has to be some sort of crazy bird paradise. 5x5 says yes, this is a bird paradise. So this is going to be what is it? Is it like quail? Is this a massive quail zone? No. Is it seagulls? Seagulls. It's seagulls. Seahawks. Because that sounds better than seagulls. So this is a Seahawk community. Yes. So does that mean that there are plentiful life for these hawks to prey upon? Yes. Are we going to roundabout fold back into the wild space aquatic environment for the birds to feed upon? Yes. So that means schools of fish and shit. Yes, it does. So that means it's not just birds, but it's also fishing. Can we do fishing in this? Yes, we can. So we're going to switch this to fishing and aviary. Yeah. Fishing and falconry. Let's do that as our claims for fame. Fishing implies that there's a challenge that scavers will be in the environment. Scavers are the wild space sharks, right? That could be anywhere from medium to huge size. Is that an ongoing threat? Yes, it is. So we could see the Seahawks that were in the falconry that we're getting into. Does that mean that there's potential? Ooh, are there exotic animals that we could potentially get here? 3x3, like griffins. Is there potential for griffins? Yes, there is. Is there the potential for wild space hippocampus? Yes, there is. And tameable scavers or space dolphins. 1x1 equals some fun. Yes, yes. Okay, cool. So we've got so basically this is a animal husbandry colony that's getting set up. It does the fishing. That's going to expand in size, I can see. Sheep is good. Fishing is awesome. So that's what this community is all about. It's got a fortress here on this top rock. Lower elevation rocks here is where the actual community is at. We'll call this like the surrounding 5,000 mile areas. Is this all fishing region? Like, so basically here's our main cluster, but within 5,000 miles of this,
like all throughout this space, this is going to be this is going to be good fishing.
Yes.
And given enough time, they could actually get a large enough. There is enough life here to be able to feed very nicely. The sheep is a good source of leather. This is going to be a really good variety of meat. So that's our fishing zone, basically. Each of these squares on this map are 5,000 miles. So this is basically a 15,000 mile territory, which means that we want to have, let's go with Major Helm equals 100k per day, equals 5k per hour. Minor Helms at first, this will include the mecha craft that the team are going to be piloting. We'll be using minor helms, but they can acquire more major helms. But most of the fishing boats and trawlers that are going to be used in these waters, they're also going to be using minor helms, which are 50 foot or smaller craft is basically what we're looking at. So they're basically going to be a bunch of 50-foot fishing boats, because major helms are 5,000 gold, 4,000 gold a piece. They are expensive. That's a pretty significant investment. It's 100 gold, 1,000 gold. So that's that's a second it's 100 gold for a common magic item. It's 400 gold for an uncommon magic item. It's 4,000 gold for a rare magic item, 40,000 gold for a very rare item, and 200,000 gold for a legendary item. And the corresponding ranks for those is 1, 2, 3, 4, and then legendary at 5. So with our top community being capital, being third rank, means it could be possible for us to acquire rare magic items through the capital, through the capital community. But it's going to be like a DC 20 for us to be able to get a lead on a potential major helm that the team could get. So for now, there's only one major helm in the probably two major helms in the community. The Citadel that the characters are in command of as defenders in the place to be able to move quickly, and then there's probably like an emergency evacuation vehicle or something at the capital that only the governor of the cluster has access to, for instance, for dignitary missions or some shit. So there's probably a second one that's squirreled away, but most of the community is going to thrive on minor helms, which have which only are 400 gold, which is a very reasonable for a second rank town to be able to scrape together to build, and very easy, or a village. A village could potentially scrape that together, but it'd be very easy for a town to be able to muster that. So having an abundance of minor helms will be easy. Major helms will be difficult until they can advance the rank of the capital to be 4th rank. Then it'll be much easier for them to be able to actually acquire a major helm. But having said that, the minor helm is going to be doing let's see. Let's put both of these in this game, because we can change these things around as we want. Merge down. So we'll leave these both at, I'm going to erase that. We'll leave both, we're going to have both of them
be able to achieve the same speeds, but the major helm can have something large enough to be 500 feet, and the minor helms are still limited to 50 feet in size. The speed won't change, so there'll be a commonality there. I think I'm okay with that. 100k miles per day, which is 5k miles per hour, which means we can get down to a speed of 10k at 2 hours, 1,000 in 10 minutes, 100 miles. Okay, so sorry, 10k per 2 hours. I'm not mapping this out properly in my head. So it's 1k per 10 minutes, because 2 hours divided by 10 is technically 12 minutes, but we'll round it down. It's roughly 10 minutes. Well, 1,000 miles equals 10 minutes, which means 100 miles per minute, which means 10 miles per round. And the normal combat speeds is going to be at the 5-foot scale, the 50-foot scale, and the 500-foot scale. Siege weapons in the medieval fantasy setting has a maximum range of 1 mile, which means that these vehicles are able to move 10 times faster than the range of combat, which is not so bad. At 100,000 miles, let's go to our book reference. Here. Distance. A 500-foot vessel can be detected on an orrery 100,000 miles away, while a 50-foot vessel can be detected 10,000 miles away. So if there is... DC 22 to be able to notice something a day away, which would give you an entire day warning. If something were approaching the cluster, we have an orrery scanner going on here and here, and they can detect a vessel up to 500 feet in size. A 100,000 miles away. That means, like, if there was a space kraken coming in, they would be able to see it potentially days away, unless the creatures can move at a faster speed. Then let's make the wild space creatures actually be able to move faster than what the ships can do. That makes it interesting. That way you would actually want to be able to have access to, like scaver drawn carriages and shit. Scavers going like 10 million miles per day if they want. You'd be able to use a sled to be able to make significant differences compared to the speed of the ships. I'm okay with that. I think I'm okay with 100,000 miles. I'm good with that. Per day, yeah, you can detect things a day away. You can see it coming. Small objects obviously are closer. So if we're dealing with smaller scale stuff, like 40-foot monsters and shit like that, as long as they're 50 feet and smaller in size, maybe the Tarrasque. Like the Tarrasque is technically 50 by 70, so it's technically bigger than 50 feet. But like something like the Tarrasque, you would be able to see basically 2 hours away. So you'd have a 2-hour warning that it's incoming to try to do something about it. That makes more sense. So initially we're going to be starting off with monsters that are up to 50 feet in size and occasionally having a big behemoth come through. That's significantly larger, but you'll be able to see that thing a day away. And if we're talking about like massive scale, like a 1,500 foot mega Kraken, for example, like a 1,500 foot Kraken, we'll literally see that 10 days away. We'll have 10 days to pick up on it before it arrives, unless it's stealthing its way to us. But with the asteroid fields, it could very well stealth its way to us. I like this. I think this is gonna work. Yeah. I don't mind slowing the helms down for the sake of the campaign, but I don't want to have to readjust the entire detection range. So that detection range still makes sense to me. 100,000 miles, a day away, you can see it coming. I think that's fantastic. So this is our general cluster here, but again, we've got more clusters of stuff that are going to be floating around. I mean, that's bigger than they need to be, but like maybe we have like little points of interest that are floating around out here. So I can probably build out like a system map or like a cluster map. Like the air envelope is like, here's our air, for instance. Like maybe it's something like that. So everything that's within this air cloud we can breathe. And then like maybe there's ribbons like conduits or air channels that lead from this cluster to like another cluster that's over here somewhere. And like this one leads off to another cluster that's over here somewhere. And these can all have like this loose filament, like this phlogiston style connection to each other. And so we could then pan out to look at the larger area, like this square here we now have as this square here, and it connects to another community, like say here, and another community catty corner, say here, and then another community like off this direction. Like this is us. So we can have like this loose star map of clusters and communities. And like these could be like D4 days away each. Because we were talking about that last session about having potential rival and ally communities that could be within range. So maybe let's roll a D6. So this one's 6. So we're going to see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is the next community. And then this one here, that's going to be 2 away here, and down here, this one's going to be 3. So these are our pockets. This one has D4, and if I roll a 1, it's a dead end. So D4, I rolled a 3. So which one's missing? More clusters off in those directions. Ooh, I could technically do a D8 on this, couldn't I? I'll do a D4 and then D8. Right, D4 only has 1. So this is a dead end. Like this is a dead end community. So this is the edge. Something like that. This one has 2 communities branching off of it. This one has 4. So this is going to be more of a hub than ours is. I rolled a 4, so that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I get another one, which is going to be 5, 6, and then another one, which is 1. So we have another one that's drifting off this way. In this sense, we're kind of making a dungeon map, aren't we? The minor helms can only hold air for a single day, while major helms can hold air for 100 days. So the majority of craft, the majority of the community having access to only minor helms means that if these are connected to each other and let's see, is this one a dead end? 1, 2. It has 2. So it has one direction and it has another one. That other direction is going to be 1, 2, 3, like this. Let's grab this and drop it down to say here. So we see these clusters splitting off. We know this one's a dead end. I'm going to call this one a dead end just to call it a dead end. But so looking at how this is built right now, we're like looking at a cluster something like this. And I could break this in here like that. And then like whatever this is like, something along the lines of like that. So while we're flying inside of this bubble, we're okay for air, but like crossing across here, we're gonna run out of air in here at some point, so we can't leapfrog through the void to get to another community. We have to stay within the cluster, and maybe we have the cluster hang tight. Maybe the air is good quality close to the clusters, but like beyond the cluster in the larger sphere, like this is fouled air, so it's poisonous. And then everything beyond this is deadly because there is no atmosphere. So like it can have like these little pockets of fresh and foul air. Like maybe there's like volcanic ash or something that's like further out here in the larger cluster. And these little asteroids all have life of some sort that's creating, that's helping spur and purify atmosphere throughout the region. But this is hugging close like this. For instance, let's see how far away this one is. Here, and let's just call this one a dead end for fun. So we can build out this cloud here like this, and this has another one. Yeah, conveniently enough, box in here like that. And we're going to call this one a dead end as well. Ooh, we could do it like that. If we had a connection point like that, that would justify this line here. There's no connections going on here, which is why this is hugging close. I like the idea of these things being like only a day's worth of travel of inside the atmosphere, and then you get into poison space. I like that. I think that's smart. We'll do that. And then we got more business going on here. Get rid of that. And get rid of that. So I don't need to specifically map poison space. Just the clean air region is all I really need to document right now. So I'll be here like that, and then we'll clip a corner like this. Does that make sense? We'll slowly get all these details locked down, and eventually it'll be a large enough tapestry that like we'll have an idea of like what's in this cluster, like where's the nearest community. Like this is our community that we're starting with here, but where's the next nearest actual community, and what's their status with us. We're kind of off on our own over here, but there could be like another cluster over here in a fresh air pocket, with this being fouled air in between. So it's poisonous it'd be poisonous to drift from one area to another, because it'll infect your it'll affect your air envelope. So you'll have poisoned air for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days as you cross from one pocket to another. And there could be all sorts of nasty creatures in the fouled zone that don't normally just hang out in the fresh zone. So I like that distinguishment between the two of them. I think there's potential interest there. So we'll probably want to build out a nearby cluster. I just locked up. I'm gonna hit save before I lose anything. There we go. Something like that. So this creates like continents of asteroids that are in close proximity to each other, divided by nasty air. But there'll be enough living plant life, growth, like just life, urchin, whatever, amongst these different population zones that it can support this larger cloud of fresh air. So like there could be like all sorts of just like random drifting islands all throughout here that have like small forests on them. Or like this one has a shitload of coral that's providing nutrients to the environment. So I think that jives. What is going on, folks? Glad folks are hanging out and checking this stuff out. All these books that I'm referencing, like this is on the DMsGuild. Again, if you drop down here, all the stuff that I'm using, like this is where I'm actually writing the campaign workbench. No. This is the This is the Kaiju and Constructs Eberron Spelljammer Bastion campaign that we're building. So like that document is here. It's read only, but you can read along. The Warforged Machines that we're using for building the Kaiju and the mecha, the Gundam ships that the team is going to be piloting to fight them. That document is here. Unique Spelljammer subclasses are here. They're also really far along in the work in progress. The Bastion Campaign book that I've been making reference to for like population and stuff like that. That's located here. And this is the style of campaign that we're running on a week-by-week basis. Each Bastion turn creates complications and events and things that the teams can do to invest in and improve. And then the actual Spelljammer Combat and Exploration document is here on the DMsGuild, which you can see here. And if you click on the free preview, it pops open this document here that we've been using for like visibility ranges. So all this stuff is here for you guys to check out, along with my Discord community. If you're interested in playtesting some of this content, either with me as your DM or build your own campaign and get technical support from me as needed, be welcome to join my community. Here's a bunch of other books that I've created on the DMsGuild. The Color Magic, Magic the Gathering, Spellpoint Variant Rules is here, and a whole bunch of other stuff that I built. Check it all out. It all has free previews. If you think that stuff is cool, thanks. Take a look. It's got all my artwork in it, as well as my design ideas. So be welcome to check it out. But otherwise, okay, so we're figuring out our population here. We know that, let's go back to our source. We know this is our community here. I'm going to get rid of all these X's because there could just be all sorts of shit that's out floating around. But this is here. Zooming into here. Have that drift off like that. Yeah. Something like that. And bring that in a snitch. Work in progress. Maps within maps within maps. And as we go to other areas, we get to zoom in and then pull in the focus of more of what's going on. So our top priority will just be initially this 100,000 mile area and how much rock is on each of them, which we'll then be able to build out and organize like this. That's the idea. So let's see. What's the next thing I want to work on? Actually, since we're here, let's straighten this one out. Got 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. I'm thinking. What I'm thinking is I'm gonna actually build out this. I want to build out this map a little bit more to start looking at the larger community around us. Don't think I need more than that. I can push this one off this way. Have that map cloud go like that, like that. Let's build out this cluster here, and then we can start looking at like what's the nearest other community to us, and like maybe like roll a d4 or something like that. So I need to have another step of distance here. So how far away is this one? This one is only 1 away. So we'll put that one in there, and then going down, how many is this? It's 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we'll have another one here. Like that. And how many extensions does this one have? It's D4. We only got 1, so this is going to be a dead end here. Extend down to this one, and how many lines does this have going off of it? 3. So we'll roll a d8 to see which directions. One going this way, and one going this way. Hey, that's my timer. Let me take a look at what time is it. It's 8 o'clock. So I'll be wrapping up here. This is probably going to be my last 20 minutes that we'll work on this. And then we'll be back on Thursday night to work on this some more. So if you think this stuff is cool, I do design work like this on Mondays and Thursdays. I do artwork for these books on Monday through Friday in the mornings. And I'm going to be starting up, we're going to be rebuilding the martial powers system. For martial characters using mana for boost effects and powers and stuff. We're going to be working on that on Saturday mornings. We just ran a playtest from level 3 to 9 over the past 5 months, and that went incredibly well. But I think I've gathered enough information for me to be able to rebuild the system. So I'm going to put that on pause and get ready to start up the next campaign. So for the probably next 3 weeks on Saturday mornings, we'll be building out, we'll be looking at the changes and rebuilding the martial power system for another playtest that's going to have it. It's a little overpowered right now, so it needs to be, there's too many, it allows for too many attacks and too much damage. So I need to back down the number, how you get access to more attacks and how we can properly balance powers, class effects, and magic items. So, but it's coming together. Every playtest is giving us a ton of great information, and it's going to end up cleaning up very, very nicely. I'm going to just call this one a dead end. Well, maybe not. Do these connect? Could these connect? They do not connect. Like, we could attempt to like bring in some sort of mass that's large enough here, like slowly drift asteroids in from other areas to create a pocket here that would eventually allow this air bubble to expand and then connect here to fill that space like this if we wanted to terraform the cloud. But for now, I'm going to leave this point blank here as an interesting terraforming activity that if we can get enough resources together and a large enough fleet of ships to be able to move enough mass to make a difference, we could terraform that eventually if we wanted to. for instance. Let's look off in this direction. How many days is that? 1, 2, 3. How many extensions do you have? None. Okay, that's a dead end. So this will be a cluster. Something like that. How many points of egress does that have? 2. Well, good enough. How many squares distance is it? 1, 2, 3, 4. And how about this one? How many squares distance does that go? 1. And how many points of it? We'll go ahead and put a cluster around you like that. How many points of egress do you have? 3. Compass. 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Going that way. And then another one. Let's do that different. Let's do it like this instead. Hook those two together like that. And then have this one head off. How many squares? 3 squares. Like that. How many points of egress does this one have? 2. Compass. This way. And how far does this one go? 4 days. 1, 2. And how many points of egress does this have? 3. I already have one established. Another 4. It kicks this one this way a little bit more. And then where's this one going to go? 1, 2, 3. This direction. How many days direction does that go? D6 equals 1 day. So that one's going to be here. And then how about this one down here? 4 days. 1, 2, 3, and then 4. Like that. And should I just end this one here? I want this one to be isolated like that. It just feels right. This one feels like it could be a dead end, but I'm going to let the fates decide it. So, answer equals, it's got 2. Compass points. Well, I know it's going to go this way. And how many days away is this? 1, 2, 3. This one goes to here. Like that. Well, this is fun. And how many points of egress do you have? Only 1, so that's a dead end. This is super fun. I love this. So we've got this cluster here where we're actually located at. And then we have this neighboring archipelago, which is separated by a few days of foul air. How close? We'll call this jumping the pond. We'll call that a day. So we'll call that one step. So I'm going to roll a d. I'm going to roll a d4 to see how many additional communities or cultures exist inside of this arrangement here. And I rolled a 3. And how far? I'm going to roll a d6. I'm going to roll a d6 plus 2 to see how many squares away they are from our community. So there's 2 of them. So the first one is 7 squares away. So can I do? How many squares away is this? 1, 2, 3 at most. 1, 2, 3 at most. 1, 2 at most. So 7. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. If I go this way, it'd be 5, 6. That's not enough. So 4, 5, 6, 7. So this is one of the neighboring communities, like a close neighbor, which is pretty far away, in all honesty, but still, that's where one of them is at. And we're gonna do another D4 plus D6 plus 2. That's a 3. So if I go this way, it's 1, 2. Can't do that. 1, 2. I could go 1, 2, 3, or I could go 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3. Let's Oh, I'm not taking into account days. I could do a number of days away. I feel like no. Let's not make it that one. Let's make it. Let's make it this one. How about that? Does that feel right? Let's ask the Oracle. Is that a good place? Yeah, the Oracle likes that one. And that northern one. Does the Oracle like that one too? Oracle likes that too. So this one, and our community here. Are there any other? Oh, those are like. Are these allied communities or like potential friendly nations? Yes, 1 and 1, guaranteed. But strange. So does that mean there's pirates somewhere in these regions as well? 5 and 6 equals yes, there is. How many pockets of piracy exist inside of the documented swarm that we're looking at right now? And again, I'm just using dice. Should I use a D6? The Oracle dice says yes, a D6 is fine. And 3. So that means there's what? 3 raiders? There's 3 raiding societies? Yeah. And how far away are they from, say, let's roll a D6 plus 2 to see how many days travel away from this community. Let's start with ours. There's 3 of them. So let's say 1 for each community are being chewed on. How many days away is the pirates or raiders that are chewing on our community? It's going to be D6 plus 2. I got 6, so 6 squares away. What is within 6 squares of us? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this whole cluster here, this here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Could be this one here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Could be this cluster here. Could be here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It could be here. That might not be a bad, but ooh, I like that. What if we have hostile forces occupying this space here? I'm gonna fill this square in as friendly. And then we're going to use X's for warlike, for dangerous. So if we have a danger hub here, that makes trade between our community and the natural next closest community dangerous. Because for us to skirt around here to try to get through there, we're going to have to potentially get in range of these pirates here. So I'm thinking there's a war of territory between the raiders and this community here. And this is a long stretch. It's actually easier for them to station here and to raid off of this community here to then bring those wares back than it is for them to come out and pick on us here. But to cool the heat over here, they could turn to chewing on our community. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Technically, it's equidistance. This is just better for staging because it's a rest point, while it's just a single shot to go back and forth with us here to here. So I think that this raiding community is going to be more interested here, but it makes me feel like there should be another community down here, and there's another community of some sort over here somewhere. So let's, this is one that was closer to us. Let's roll this one. It's D6 plus 3. I got a 7. So, let's instead look over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's put a raiding community here. Again, it looks like another really juicy control point. So they might not so much be like a raiding community as they're just hostile. They're viewing these communities, these filled-in communities here as potential threats, including ours. So they're using hostilities and war posturing to intimidate these other communities. There's one community left that we need to take into note. Do we want another? Should there be another friendly one down here somewhere that's being cut off? I kind of like that idea. 5 and 5, yes. That's yeah, and they're all the way back into this corner here. Actually, let's call it hostile. But they're being overran by the central, like, there's not going to be a large moral obligation of any sort for our characters in this location to go fight these pirates because they're picking on this community. Both of these communities are hostile. This one's attention is being split between taking over this region with these guys and taking over this region with these guys. That's the conflict that we're looking at right now. With these guys being so locked up, they don't have a lot of spare resources to come and pick on us unless they're looking for resources of some sort that maybe we have, and then maybe we'll take the attack. So there's danger, but it's not too nearby. But it's close enough that we can't afford to have our characters take the defending citadel from our community and like fly over here to see what's going on. They can't just like willy-nilly off in another direction because they'd be deserting their posts with pirates in the region, 2 separate hostile forces that could potentially be picking on us for resources at any time in their war against each other. And then across the Fouled Sea, we have another conflict over here between these guys and these guys. And yeah, I think I'm pretty good with that. That's the start of an interesting geopolitical situation. We may drop in another archipelago in the region just to have a fourth point of reference, or a third point of reference, I guess. Let's take this. Push that up to there like that. I feel like I want another cluster. Like, do I need another? Maybe these 2 are fine for now. Is this enough? Okay. Oracle Dice tells me that these 2 are enough. That if there is another air pocket, it's probably like over here like that. Maybe, is that true? Yeah. So, Oracle Dice likes that there's another air pocket over here, but again, that's pretty far away. We'll do it like that. Just to note that it exists, but it's like, if we want to hop, we should probably just hop here to this area instead of making a long trek over here to find out what's over there. That feels sensible enough to me. Anything off in this direction that I should note right now? Dice say yes. There's another pocket over this way. Okay.
So there's another pocket over. There's another
cluster over here. Call it the Fouled Sea. There. So that separates our archipelagos. There's probably like another... something like that. Something like that. Cool. So that's our focus right here. This square here is here. Here's our 6 communities. Somehow I fucked up. Let's clean this up a little bit here. Get that out of the way. Get that out of the way. There we go. There we go. Hey, that's my timer to tell me that I should be paying attention to my time. I think this is good. So we've got the start of a world map in orbit in these little clusters in Eberron, and we've started in filling in like the major resources or the materials that they provide, either animal, mineral, or vegetable matter. We've broken down what they are, like general crops and iron. Sheep and goat is the majority here, which means it's like scrub brush. We have forest and general crops here in the largest community. Here, sheep and forest. We know that there is mining happening. This is fishing and falconry on a planar only 5 mile rock area. Zooming in here, here's that 5 mile rock, and these are other asteroids that are planar gravity that are in close orbit to them, creating a little ocean type community, wild space ocean community. That's a good step. So this is interesting. I'm liking where this is heading. I think what's going to happen when we come back next time. So we've got the rank of each settlement in this cluster that the team has authority over. Will be the focus of the campaign, and we have the population for each of them, the size of the asteroid that each one of them are populated on. The major role that they're playing, or rather, let's say materials, crops, forests, drop this one down to fishing. I'm going to drop this one down to electrum. Iron and crops, sheep and forest. We're going to give this one a 3rd material. So let's see. It's the rank will be the rank is already the number of materials you can have as per the Bastion Campaign book. Now we're just making it actually conform. There's other stuff, so let's just go with materials so we can get rid of the extra plus, because we don't need that, except for here. So let's see what this one is. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 3 is crops, forest, and then another type of vegetation. So forests is a natural. Crops is natural. What is another type of vegetation or plant-like material that can be existing in the area that can be harvested as materials? Crops is just, general food stuff. Forest is for all that, gathering wood as a resource. Let's go to the Bastion Campaign book real quick and look at some of our reference points for materials. So dropping down here into the items, let's start taking a look at what type of plant is needed. Let's see. Poisons. Equipment. Ships or wood. Tinderbox, plant materials, wood fiber again. Maybe maybe it's like bamboo? Like bamboo forest?
Kind of liking that. Wood forest, bamboo swamp, crop fields, like that. Goat crags, crop fields, iron mine, electrum mine, sheep pasture, wood forest. Fishing space. There we go. That feels pretty good. So now that we have the general materials that each one of these settlements are gathering to contribute to the prosperity of the communities as a whole, the next step is we'll convert these. We're going to convert. First off, we have to be able to harvest these materials, which means that we need to have we have to have points invested into the settlement to be able to pull these different materials. And then we need to have all the supporting facilities that go with it. Laboratories, workshops, guild halls, barracks, armory, gardens, pubs. These are all the different facilities that exist inside the Bastion system that we're expending points on to have a strong enough industry up to the rank of the community. So like we could put like 3 points into gardening to harvest crop supplies and stuff, for instance. So we'll eat these points up very, very quickly. So when we come back on Thursday night like this, we'll break down each community into what facilities do they have in the community, roughly how many households or like businesses and shops and shit like that exists for us to be able to break down the individual economy of each to support the archipelago, the settlement, the cluster as a whole. So, and I think we put in about 2 hours today. Yeah, we just about hit our 2 hour mark. So this is probably a good place for Phil to stop for the night. I like this progress that we're making. You can see how things are starting to fill in details for each other. It's just going to be a matter of time before each of these communities are properly fleshed out into just like little environments. And once we have the point value, we'll also be able to determine like what sort of a militia does each settlement have, and the size of the militia will dictate the number of siege weapons that will be available to defend that community, even if the team's citadel is incapable of closing the distance to engage the threat on time.
then it becomes an issued order to defend your settlement, because the citadel won't be able to engage in combat. So ideally, there'll be at least one threat happening at any given time that the team could contend with, and it's just becoming a matter of, can we get to it in time? Because each square equals an hour of travel, and we roll a d10 to see how many hours the threat remains before they get what they want and extract resources from the community that need to be recovered over time. And when you're missing resources, that means your facilities are down, which means there could be a shortage of, like, the Electrum mine went down, and now we're not getting any materials from the Electrum mine to trade to other communities to get things that we need. So it's going to work out. It's going to be a little bit of work, but we're going to do all that work here on screen with you guys. Just basically, we're building a campaign. This is all the intricate work that we do in the front end of a campaign, so that once we have all this information available and organized well, so we understand how these communities operate with each other, when the players show up and we start throwing wrecking balls through it, we'll have an idea of what's like the intuitive, natural response to whatever tragedy happens, and how can the heroes step in to fix that tragedy to help the community recover. That's the fundamentals of the heroic campaigns. And by structuring it into a Bastion campaign, where basically it's one event every week that the team goes on a weekly, like an adventure per week inside of this community somewhere, whether they're external threats or like they delve too deep into the Electrum or the Iron Mine, so they've cracked open Kyber, so now you need to go down in a delve and fight monsters in the Underdark, or like this fishing community that we're talking about. Maybe like there's like some really massive killer Kandori that are starting to show up in the community that are too large for the small defenses of this community to be able to really hold off against, like 7 raging Kandori that are like 300 feet apiece. Well, that becomes vessel stuff, so then the team would have to deploy their citadels to drop out in Mecca to try to, beat up the Kandori enough to convince them to fuck the fuck off and stop eating all of our fish in this area and don't harass our people, right? Kandori are space whales, so if they were like space orca, they could easily just fly by, just like scavengers, and just snatch people out of a field and then fly away with them. It's like, well, fuck. We just lost Billy. We got orcas eating us. We need the Citadel to come out here and chase this pot of orcas away. They're intelligent fucking creatures, so they could be playing cat. Like, they could be their own hostile force. Can you imagine like an awakened orca, like with human intelligence or whatever? I mean, arguably maybe they do already, but thinking like a person with a persona, leading a pod of space orca that are purposefully hunting, like eating sheep and goats off the crags, for instance. That becomes a major threat. Like, these sheep are easy pickings. Let's just go gank a bunch of them, and now you've got a problem with space whales eating all your fucking sheep. That's a Citadel issue. Drop in your mecha, like 30-foot mecha versus a 200-foot orca. That's a tough fight. But if you've got a team of like 6 mecha with a Citadel dropping siege weapon support behind you, you could probably chase off a pod of 7 orca like that. That might actually be I'm going to put that on the encounter, that there's been known threats of killer space whales harassing sheep in general. And since we have sheep farms or sheep herds, we know that orca could potentially be a threat. So I love that. This is super fun. Yeah. So that's it for now, guys. I'm going to go ahead and check out. I'm going to be back tomorrow morning in the AM to continue working on the Bob Ross painting for the Eldeen Reaches and the Druids that we're working on in the Eberron adventure. We do artwork Monday through Friday in the morning, like we'll be doing tomorrow, like we did today. We do this game design stuff on Mondays and Thursday nights, and we'll be doing Martial Powers playtest updates and mechanical changes on Saturday mornings. So if you guys think that stuff is cool, I'd love for you guys to stick around. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, so I really appreciate everybody checking in on this. And I've been doing this for years, so if I seem new, I am. I'll see you guys on the other side. I really appreciate y'all hanging out. Thanks a lot, my man.